Hi everyone, in today's lecture we are going to see about control of HVDC converters. Requirements of ideal HVDC control system. Symmetry of valve turn on angles during steady state operation. There should be symmetry between valve turn on angles. Ability to determine the turn on angle using commutation voltage and margin minimum reactive power consumed by the converter without incurring commutation failure. Margin minimum reactive power consumption is the minimum value obtained when a graph drawn between the voltage and the reactive power consumed by the converters. So these two should not affect commutation. Insensitivity to variations in voltage and frequency of the AC transmission system, which means any change in voltage and frequency of the AC transmission system should not affect the converters. Ability to predict the optimal turn on time based on actual system voltage and the DC current without causing commutation failure, which means the turn on time of power system components should be easy to predict with the help of system voltage and DC current. The prediction should not cause any commutation failure. Current control scheme with sufficient margin of speed and stability to handle either a change in reference value or a disturbance. The current control scheme should be reluctant to changes like surges, a change in current or voltage. It should withstand those things. These are ideal requirements for HVDC control system. Methods of control. There are two methods: individual phase control, equidistance pulse control. So first we are going to see about individual phase control, IPC. Used in early days of HVDC transmission, generate pulse for each phase separately. There are two types in it: linear turn on method, cos inverse method. So first we are going to see about linear turn on method. Control voltage EC varies in proportion with the control angle A. So there is a control voltage EC is given. The alpha angle, triggering angle, also increases, or control angle A increases. The up conversion of V1 and V2 is done by synchronous converter. For control, V1 is converted into square wave E1 and then converted to a ramp wave E2. Comparator compares E2 with EC and generate a control signal EA. So see in this graph, this is E2 and this is EC. When the E2 value is greater than EC, the comparator gives an output signal so that it will control the converters. So in below you can see, as I said, the alpha angle, control angle, is directly proportional to the voltage EC, control voltage EC. So the K is the proportional constant. Below they did the equation for the output voltage E0. So next, cons inverse turn on method. In this method, the supply voltage is delayed by 90% and it is the E1. You see here, this is the supply voltage which is 90 degree delayed. The E1 is less than, when E1 is less than EC, control signal EA is generated. When E1 is less than EC, EA, the control signal for the converters, is generated. You see this is the block diagram for cos inverse turn on method. EA, this signal is used to control the converter. EC is inversely proportional to EAS. So alpha is equal to cos inverse of EC by Emax. This is the output equation for cos inverse turn on method. So next is equidistance pulse control turn on method. Uses a phase lock oscillator to generate pulses with a constant time interval. Types: there are T types in equidistant pulse control: pulse frequency control, pulse period control, pulse phase control. We are going to see about pulse frequency control and pulse period control. So before we are seeing about pulse frequency and pulse period, we are going to first see about phase locked oscillator. Phase locked oscillator, this is the circuit diagram of a phase locked oscillator. It consists of a voltage control oscillator. You can see here, this is voltage control oscillator. This voltage control oscillator The output frequency varies with according to input voltage. Control the frequency of the thyristor, turn on pulses using control voltage VC. It controls the output signals which is going to turn on the thyristors. VC is derived from turn off cycle current or DC voltage. The voltage control oscillator consists of an integrator, comparator and pulse. Output pulse of the pulse generator turns on the thyristor through the ring counter to initiate the integration. So this is the output for the phase lock loops. So for when the voltage increasing voltage reaches the control voltage VC, a pulse is given out. So when the control voltage V3 is increased, the time interval between pulse also increased. When it is decreased, the time interval between pulse also decreased. Pulse frequency control. It supports varying frequency output by varying V3 or VC, which is this is the VC. VCF frequency is changed. If VC is increased, the frequency of VCF is changed. So the signal produced is also changed. The time interval between the signal produced also changes. So this is the equation for pulse frequency control. So pulse period control. So V3 is derived from errors of current, turn off angle or DC voltage. So it consists of basic and frequency correction circuit controlled by V1 and V3. Bias here is V3 plus V1 is the input voltage which is given as input. At steady state, V3 is equal to 0, which means bias is not applied. Pulse generated for every f0 by 12 seconds, where f0 is the frequency of the supply. When there is a change in V3, see here the V3 voltage, due to the influence of V3 voltage, the voltage reduces, the pulse also changes in accordance with the voltage, which in turn affects the firing angle. So by the change in voltage changes the pulses, hence change the angle. It is similar to frequency, but we don't use V1. We don't give V1 as input for frequency. These are the references. Thank you.